I'm a therapist and certified essential oils coach. So I actually started making something today and I realized that I have not been on live on YouTube in a while. So I figured I will get on here and show you guys how to make a floral skin oil that you can use for your face. Now, this is a skin oil that I love to use. I use it every morning, every night, and it's something I have noticed really has helped smooth the texture of my skin, the almost like the elasticity. It's helped with dryness and all kinds of stuff. I am absolutely in love with this oil. Now, this infused oil is calendula infused oil, and it is really, really easy to make. So we have here our calendula flowers, and this is a dried calendula. Now, calendula, if you are familiar with marigold flowers, calendula is in the marigold family. And calendula is really great for the skin. A lot of research on calendula and how beneficial it is for the skin. As a matter of fact, if you look up like products such as Kiehl's, I think they have a whole calendula skincare line. So you can find it in a lot of products. But instead of spending like $70 on a calendula infused skincare cream, we are actually going to make a infused oil ourselves. So calendula, you want to use the dried flowers. You can find these at your big box stores online. I love ordering mine either from Star West Botanicals or a site like that. I also have an herbal shop that's like right down the street from me. So I often for calendula will go to her to get that, but you can find it online for sure. Now, what you will need is you'll need your dried calendula. You will also need something to store your facial oil in while it's infusing. So I highly recommend a glass mason jar. So I have one here. And then you need the actual oil that you're going to use to infuse it, right? Now, for the oils, these are called carrier oils. So carrier oils are different from essential oils, but carrier oils such as coconut oil. So I have a coconut oil here. This is fractionated, meaning that it's already liquefied. You can use the solid kind. You just want to melt it first. So I have coconut oil. Coconut oil has a lot of antibacterial properties, so it's really great to use on the skin, especially if your skin gives you a lot of problems with acne and stuff. Inflammation, for example. Jojoba oil. Now, jojoba oil is really great for clogged pores. And I know it doesn't seem like it makes sense, right? Because we have been taught that if you have clogged pores, don't put any oil on it. Well, jojoba oil actually helps to get in there and it helps to loosen up what's clogging your pores and helps your skin to release it. So for this infused skincare oil, I recommend a mix of your calendula, of jojoba oil, and if you don't have both, you can definitely just use one. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Coconut oil is cheaper than jojoba oil, okay? So for that reason, when I do my infusion, it is mostly coconut and then some jojoba oil. You can also use, you can also add, and we are going to add to this, but I have argan oil here. I have vitamin E. These are like the capsules. Vitamin E, so good for your skin. I also have vitamin C. So whatever supplements that you have around, you can use that for the oil infusion. But we're going to kind of put these things in after our oil, our infusion is made, okay? So the vitamin E, the argan oils, and the vitamin C serum is going in afterwards because we don't want to expose this to heat. I'm actually going to use a heat method for mine. So let's get into making. So we have our mason jar. I'm telling you guys, this is so easy. The hardest part about this is the weight, the weight for the oil to infuse. But we're going to talk a little bit about that. So what you do is you're just going to take your calendula flowers and you're going to add them in your mason jar. And by the way, other herbs that are great for your skin, like floral herbs, if you can get your hands on some rose, some dried geranium flowers, some lavender flowers. Those are really, really great for the skin as well. So we're packing our mason jar in here. I'm trying not to spill it because this is like good stuff. So we don't want to spill it. And I also have another pack. I'm going to put a little bit more in here. So I think this was, ooh, I forgot how many ounces. Let me see if I have it on here. This is a 2-ounce bag. So a 2-ounce bag. And this, what is this, 300 milliliters? Let's see if it has ounces on the other side. Cups. So we are at, sorry, they print this thing at 3 cups. So this is a 3-cup mason jar. So we're putting this in here, and all we're going to do is add the oil to this. Now, if you have lavender, if you have other types of dried flowers, like I said, rose, geranium, you can mix all of those dried flowers and put them in here as well. But I'm just going to use the calendula because that's what I have. All right, so for the calendula oil, next what we're going to do is we're going to cover this with the coconut oil. Now remember, if you only have coconut oil, that's fine. I have coconut and jojoba oil, so I am actually going to do a mix. So let me back this up, put this down so you can see this better. All right. And we are just going to take this and we are going to fill this up. And you want to take your time. There's going to be air bubbles. Your flowers are going to sink down. I don't know if you can see it, but we are going to mostly fill this with our coconut oil and then some of the jojoba oil. Now you may be asking, why am I using so much? If you have a smaller mason jar, you can use a smaller mason jar. I am using this large size because I use it. My mom loves it. I gave some to her. She absolutely fell in love with it. My sister wants some. And then there's other uses for infused calendula oil as well. But I will talk about that. So that's why I'm using such a large mason jar for my calendula infusion. But you don't have to. If you find a smaller one, use a smaller one because a little bit goes a really long way. What I do is I actually, once my oil is infused, I pour it into this cute jar. And if you guys watch me at all, you know I'm like, I recycle jars. There's no need to go out and buy a whole bunch of things. And I'm trying to think, this was like a little olive oil jar sample or something like that that I purchased. And once I was done, I cleaned that bad boy out. And now this is what I use for my facial oil. And you can see I have only a little bit in here. And I have a little bit of dried lavender from the last time I made it. But you only need a little bit when you're putting it on your face. So this right here lasted me, oh gosh, probably at least 3 months, you know? So again, you don't need a whole lot. I make it in a big batch because, like I said, I use it, my mom uses it, give it to other people. And there are other ways you can use this as well. So thank you guys for joining. Don't be shy. Let me know that you're here. All right. So what we're making, if you just joined, is an infusion, a floral infusion using dried calendula. So this was the dried calendula flowers that we use. And we're making an infusion for our face. Okay. And I talked about the benefits of calendula oil. That includes, it helps with acne. It helps with inflammation. It helps smooth out your skin. It helps with free radicals. That's really important if you live in an environment where there's a lot of pollutants. So think like someone that lives in the city, they got the smog and all kinds of stuff coming at them, right? So those free radicals damaging your skin, it helps to protect against that. And did I say smoothness? It does help your skin smooth as well. So very powerful stuff. Now I'm coming in. So I just filled it up with probably like 3/4 full of the coconut oil. Now I am coming in and I'm putting in the jojoba oil. Now, again, if you only have the coconut oil, just use that. And like I mentioned from the top, because jojoba oil is an expensive oil, I do not fill this, I would not fill this whole bottle up unless if you got money like that and you want to spend it like that, feel free. Jojoba oil is a great moisturizer for your skin, while the coconut oil helps with that antibacterial property. Okay, so we have our beautiful calendula infused, or calendula oil, not infused just yet. And essentially, what you do is you take your top, and I'm going to talk about two ways of infusion, and you would top this up. Now, the folk method of infusion is you basically set this in your cabinet, and this is what I would typically do. I would put this in my kitchen cabinet in kind of like a little dark place, and every once in a while, like once a day, a few times a week, I would come by and agitate it, right? So what the oil is doing is actually pulling out those properties that I talked about from the calendula flowers into the oil. So that's that infusion. And you want to agitate it a little bit just to kind of help it along, right? Now, if you do the folk method, it typically takes at least 4 weeks for the infusion. So from 4 to 6 weeks. Now, like I shared with you guys, I am out of my oil. So I was like, dang it, I should have started quicker. So I don't want to wait that long. Another way that you can do it is called the sun method. You could actually take this. If you don't live in a climate that's super, super hot, I'm in Orlando. It's the weather's starting to cool down a little bit. So I may be able to do this, but I'm going to do another method. But the sun method is you literally put this outside in the sun and let the sun kind of assist with that infusion. Now, I don't know if you guys ever had sun tea, like sun sweet tea. I'm from the South. Sun sweet tea is the bomb.com. But again, I'm not going to be patient because I'm out. So the third method, and this is actually the method that I'm going to do, is I'm actually going to put this in a slow cooker. Okay? So you heard me right, a slow cooker. So essentially what you would do, if you have a slow cooker, you would fill it up so the water is at least halfway to the bottle. You would put this in your slow cooker, put your slow cooker on the lowest temperature possible, whether that's like 200, whatever the lowest one is, and you let that infuse. Now, some people say 3 hours. I would say at least 6 hours. You just set it in there. You could even set it in overnight, and that heat will help that oil to extract out the properties. And then the next day, your infused oil will be ready. So because I am out of mine, that is what I'm going to do. Once my oil has infused, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back, and these are the vitamin E capsules. You don't need a lot of these, but vitamin E, again, very great for your skin, right? I'll pop a few of these. I'm thinking about, for this size, maybe about 4 of those. So I will pop those, put the liquid in that. And then I'm also going to add some argan oil to this as well. Argan oil also is not cheap stuff. This is pure argan oil. So for that, I'll probably go in with like a half of a tablespoon or something like that. Okay, so you don't need a whole lot of like the more expensive ones because they're going to infuse with everything else. Okay, so it's mostly the coconut oil, some jojoba oil, and then we're going to sprinkle the rest of that in. So hope that makes sense. Again, the dried calendula flowers, you can get these from stores online. For example, Mountain Rose Herbs, Star West Botanicals. Sure, you can find places on Amazon, even on Etsy, where people sell this. And that's it. Now, once this is infused, then tomorrow I will jump on and show you guys what we do next. So basically, we have to separate the flowers from the oil. And then we'll talk about the different uses of it. I use it in a number of ways. Like I said, one of the ways is just putting it on my skin before I go to bed, when I get up in the morning after I wash my face, and it's essentially my moisturizer. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you give it a try. If not with calendula, lavender, rose, dried geranium. Just give it a try and see how you like it. I think you will absolutely love it. If you have any questions or comments about natural health and wellness, let me know, and I will do my best to try to do a video on it or answer your question. Other than that, thank you guys so much for supporting me, for jumping on with me tonight, and I will see you next time. Take care. Be well.